So shooters and reloaders, it's Fortune Cookie 45 LC coming to you from the Hot Lead Zone. And you've heard a lot about the recent changes on YouTube as how it affects the gun channels, the gun videos that are being done. But lost in the shuffle, there's also been some changes on YouTube that affects the smaller creators out there of other topics on YouTube, because what's happened is they now have an imposition of a limit, a floor, as to how many subscribers and how many hours of views they're getting before they can get monetized. And that hurts the smaller producers. Now the gun channels, we're all hurting because of what's happening with the YouTube guidelines that are all of a sudden sprung onto us. Well, let's talk about some of the situations, the current status of the environment before we move on from here. So, YouTube was created back in 2005 by 3 entrepreneurs out of PayPal, and the platform grew so quickly that Google purchased it. Google purchased it in 2006, 1 year, roughly a year after it was created. And since then, YouTube has grown to become a major social media worldwide. Now, Google would not keep YouTube as a subsidiary if it wasn't making big profits, because that's what all these big companies, social media companies, are all about, making big profits. Not little profits, not just breaking even, but making big profits. Now the thing about big business, and the United States is the best at this. We're the ones that started this whole idea. Big business was used by the United States to gather the world's goods and services and resources to the point where it's a big part of why the United States is hated across the world, because of the fact that our big business has really ravaged for many years other countries. For those of you who need more corroboration on this, I give you the Empire State. The Empire State Building. How's that sound like building business empires across the world? And why do you think they attacked the World Trade Center? And it's like Great Britain did it by the force of arms with their British Empire, but we did it better with the pen, the power of the pen. And the other countries of the world aren't going to forget that. The thing about big business is it hasn't got any heart. It's only looking at profits. And if big business has any heart at all, it's secondary to the profits that can be made. Big business has to generate profits. That's what the stock market's all about. And the way big business is hated and the way big business has treated people, workers and all this kind of thing, that's why non-profits were created, to be the anti-big business. And even other countries of the world are sending their people over here to learn about non-profits so that they can bring that back to their countries that they've been trying to build their big business up, and now they need non-profits to take the edge off of it. Principles of big business. We don't really need to have numbers to know that. And by the way, when it comes to numbers, it's like insurance companies. They get all this money in there, they know what they're doing with it, they know how much profit they're making. They're not going to tell anybody. They don't have to tell anybody what profits they're making. And if we knew, we might be astonished, because the word obscene might fall in there. So that's what's happening to drive some of the things that are happening with YouTube. That's just the way it is with big business. So YouTube has to create big profits for the parent company Google. If they don't do it, they'll be pressured. And there'll be changes of leadership, and all of this kind of thing will go on because the profits have to come in. Well, what can they do? YouTube already has a worldwide penetration. They already have the market share. They can only grow profits by either increasing their income or decreasing their expenses. Now, any MBAs out there, or if I say something that doesn't make any sense to you out there, then by all means, chime in and we can all grow together in this discussion. But what YouTube is being forced to do, since they can't raise revenue that much more, they can't increase their market because they already got it. The advertisers are not going to be willing to pay even more money. They want bang for their buck. So what they're doing is decreasing their expenses. And that's why we've seen the monetization problems for the smaller channels by creating a floor in subscribers and view hours. It causes monetization to basically go all to Google up until those channels reach those thresholds. And that's just more profit for YouTube. And they have to get that. The gun channels, we've seen videos be demonetized. But when you demonetize the video, do you think that YouTube's not going to keep on putting some advertisers on there? So they're getting all that revenue. They don't have to share any of the additional revenue with the creators. That's how they're going to increase their profits. But as time goes on, what else can they do? So one thing is that YouTube doesn't have the benefit of planned obsolescence in their products or new models coming out all the time. So about the only thing they can do is create products like YouTube Red that isn't doing that well. How else can YouTube grow to grow profits even more? Because the charts have to keep going up. It has to be an incline like this. You know, when they start plateauing off, they're saying what's wrong. And if they go down at all, then it's a disaster. Cannot happen. So this is the environment that we're looking at with YouTube. But I think I can speak for most gun video creators out there. What we do takes a lot of equipment and time and work. And we work hard creating videos. And for myself, I'm going in the hole. Every video I do, I'm going in the hole. Now, of course, we keep track of what we spend and what revenue we get. And I'm going in the hole. I can only go in the hole so long. It's not good business. What's happening is YouTube has taken advantage of us working our tails off, making these videos to help them grow to the point where they are right now. And now they're just kind of cutting us loose and pushing us out the door. That's what's happening. So sure, YouTube is a property of Google, and the argument is being made that it's their property, they can do anything they want with it. But that's not true, because YouTube has become such a global interchange of ideas and the flow of information that now has become a public dependency, global public dependency, that they have a responsibility to be even-handed and fair. And to try and restrict flow of information, to try and restrict the flow of ideas, there's something basically wrong about the First Amendment there. So they still have to obey the law. The law would say that you've got to be fair in your dealings with the people that are using your medium that's become so big. The responsibility to the public and the world is being abrogated. And if you look at some of the other content on YouTube that they allow to go on, it doesn't make any sense. And by the way, there are a lot of other industries and topics out there that are not gun related and you're working your tails off too. And what you're doing is you're almost like slave labor to help YouTube make their profits. I really don't know what you're making per hour, but if you calculate it out, it'll surprise you. It's not much. Slave labor. There's going to be more pressure to lower what they're going to pay the creators, the same creators that's giving them their success. So the only conclusion we can draw is that the way they treat the smaller creators out there, the cooking channels or whatever it is because they like profits. If they really wanted to invest on all the younger, newer, first online creators out there, because that's where they're going to do their success later on. The more of the newer creators that come online, the better chances of more creativity to happen. And you would want to invest there. For them not to invest there and to discourage the newer creators doesn't make any sense really when you think about it, except they make more profits that way. But all your medium-sized ones, all your little ones, not going to do well at all. In fact, on your back is going to come the growth of YouTube, and it's going to get worse. What's happening is they're taking advantage of your love to create and your love of the viewers, and that they're going to take advantage of that to grow their profits. I don't think that's ethical. That the reason they're treating the gun video creators the way they're treating us is because they don't like us. And they don't like us more than they don't like the profits they might lose by not liking us. And I need to point out to you that if you're a viewer of a gun video, well, guess what? They don't like you either. And in fact, we're all part of that basket of deplorables. Remember that? That's what we are. And so we should remember that YouTube doesn't like us. It's like what they used to say on the Mickey Mouse Club, right? Why? Because we don't like you. Let's put it this way. The people that are making these decisions at Google and YouTube are not dummies. They didn't get there by being dummies. They don't operate by emotion. They operate by agenda. Cool, calculating agenda. That's how big business works. And their agenda, the cards are on the table and we can see where it is. They operate by control. And if they think they have the control and then their agenda, they're going to push it. So I hate to say this, but it does appear that the only way to break this control situation is through an action from the courts. And it's going to take a lot of money. And this is a perfect opportunity for the NRA, our organization, to step forward and do something about this horrendous abridging of not only the Second Amendment, but the First Amendment, and some basic rights of the public and all people to freely share and take advantage of idea flow and information flow. This is Fortune Cookie 45 LLC, wishing you all the best. Bye for now.